Hi guys, this is Ranjit and welcome to the Tech QA session. This is for April 2024 and Hyderabad has become hot. But anyways, here I have about 20 odd questions, a variety of questions. So let's start with them. And the first question I got is from Anirudh Pai. He's asking why some brands are still preferring MediaTek as compared to the Qualcomm chipsets such as Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 versus the Dimensity 7200. Anirudh, again, it comes down to the cost. If we compare the cost of the chip, that is 7 Gen 3 versus the Dimensity 7200, the Dimensity works out to be a lot more affordable. That's the big reason, I would say. Anyways, moving to the next one. Interesting name, I feel nothing, and he has a question about nothing. What are your expectations with the upcoming Nothing Year and Nothing Year A, and what is your expectation for the Nothing Phone 3? Nothing Phone 3, a lot of rumors out there, so we know that it is coming, and it's rumored that it will come with the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, which is a gimmicky chip, to be very frank. Qualcomm is doing a really bad thing in marketing it. It is basically a souped up 7th generation chip, but they're just naming it as the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, I would say. But yeah, that's what it's supposed to come with. Regarding the Nothing Year, yes, the new Nothing Year will come, the year 3, but they're just going to call it Nothing Year. And I think so it will continue the legacy, what it has done. I actually, to be very frank, I use the Nothing Year 2 earphones a lot more than I expected. Even after my review process, I actually used it casually. It's actually near my bed whenever I sleep, before sleeping or anything, I use it. The simple reason is that, yes, the audio quality is decent. It's actually pretty good. But the best thing that I liked about is that it's very comfortable to wear. It's almost as comfortable as the AirPods Pro and stuff like that. That is the reason that I actually use it. So I feel they'll continue using that. They'll slightly improve the audio quality. And the Year A are supposed to be the slightly budget version of the same. So let's see when we get it. I'll try to review the regular Nothing Year, and but not the A series. Okay, moving to the next one. This is by Somya. He's asking, AI boom in smartphones. What do you think about this? Will this become another gimmick from Chinese brands, just like how they are abusing the peak brightness? Yes, that peak brightness rubbish, 3000, 4000 nits is just bonkers these days. Regarding AI, guys, yes, some of the Chinese vendors by next year or whatever will try to hype stuff about AI. But I feel, genuinely I feel, AI is going to be a game changer in the long run. We are just in the baby steps of AI, what it can do. Yes, that moving of images and stuff, you find gimmicks, but this is just the baby steps that we are taking. AI is something like what internet was about, let's say, in 1994, 1995. We had text-based internet. People didn't understand why would anybody need it. But now, you just can't live without the internet. So AI is going to be like that, but it'll take a lot of time for it to mature. But yes, in the initial 1 or 2 years, you'll see a lot of hype around that. That's how technology works. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Arup. He's asking the specs of the newly launched Moto phone, and many of you have asked about this, the Motorola, that is H50 Pro smartphone. He says the Moto phones are solid and the pricing seems to be on point, but that UFS 2.2 and LPDDR4X RAM acceptable at that price point. Regarding the LPDDR4X RAM, I feel that's good because generally we are seeing the LPDDR5X RAMs on the Snapdragon 8 Gen series, not in the below ones. So that's what it is. Regarding UFS 2.2, if you see my review of the Moto H50 Pro, I didn't harp too much about the UFS 2.2 because the general performance of the phone was actually much better. In fact, it did surprise me in real world usage. And in fact, I didn't do those, storage benchmarks, but some other YouTubers have done it. And the benchmark scores were coming very close to the UFS 3.1. So the storage, yes, though it's UFS 2.2, but they have optimized it in such a way that it's really fast and you don't feel the slowdown. The only nitpicking I would say is that if you're a super hardcore gamer, then maybe that UFS 2.2 storage will lead to a slightly higher load times when you're loading a new level or something like that. But apart from that, in daily usage, I used this device for 7 days. I was traveling. I never had any hiccups while loading apps, multitasking and all those things. That is fine. The only thing I don't like is that I don't know why Motorola is also getting in this stupid marketing bandwagon. still the Moto devices, the new ones, have that pre-enabled RAM boost. I don't know why they have to do it. So that's the only nitpicking that I have. But overall performance, even though it's having that UFS 2.2, was very, very good. That's the reason I didn't harp about it when I posted my review about it. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Saurabh. Again, a Motorola question, so I'm bundled it. After Motorola's launch of Moto H50 Pro at about 30K, including IP68 protection, a telephoto lens, will other brands also be forced to offer such features under rupees 30,000 or even better specification? Saurabh, we have always seen this every year. One brand or the other brings out a real great value flagship kind of a device or a great mid-range device, and we expect that others will follow. But sadly, seeing this industry for the last couple of years, sadly that doesn't happen. Then you'll see the releases by Oppo, Vivos, and some Samsungs or whatever, they'll be overpriced. So there is generally an exception every year. I think so this year's exception for that great mid-range value smartphone that gives you almost 90% of the stuff that you want is the Moto H50 Pro. Will there be great competitors to this? I hope we have, but realistically speaking, looks difficult. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Trauma. He's asking thoughts on the new MacBook and how's the Nexon EV Max withstanding in summer? Any change in the battery discharge? Okay, regarding the new MacBooks, I can't comment because I haven't used it or tested it, so I just don't want to comment about it. Regarding the Nexon EV Max, that's my EV, or how it's behaving in summer. It's behaving just normally. I would say I haven't noticed any major changes. The only change that I notice is that I generally charge it with slightly fast charger. That's a 7.2 kilowatt charger that I have. And now in summer, when I'm charging it in morning, generally I try to charge it in the morning because of this. I want to use the solar power to charge it. I noticed that the fans, the compressor, the AC compressor gets switched on when charging in the sun automatically to keep the battery cool. So that way I would say that in charging it consumes a little bit more power because it's trying to cool the battery automatically. When a certain temperature increases, it actually employs the AC automatically, the compressor, to keep the battery cool. So that's the only change that I've noticed. And again, regarding the fall in percentage in battery life in summer, I haven't noticed that much of a difference. Maybe that 2-3% difference, and that might be just because of the fact that I'm running the AC at full blast with ventilated seats and all the features. So again, the AC is definitely working a lot more in the summer. I think so that 2-3% extra battery usage that I'm noticing over the full charge must be because of the excessive AC usage. But apart from that, I haven't noticed much of the differences. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Chandan. He is asking, again, it's an EV related question. Renting a petrol car for 3 years or buying an EV in 2024 for family budget around 15 to 17 lakhs. Chandan, I have already also mentioned about this in earlier tech Q&A sessions. Is how much is your monthly run? Again, if your monthly run is less than, let's say, 500 kilometers, getting into EV will not make much of a difference in your significant savings, I would say. But let's say if your run is slightly higher, let's say 750 kilometers or more than 1,000 kilometers a month, then you will see substantial savings every month moving to an EV. Approximately, let's say if you're running about 1,000 kilometers a month, you can roughly save about 9 to 10,000 rupees in fuel and servicing costs, etc. So that's how it works. For me, actually, EVs work because my monthly run is anywhere from, let's say, 1,200 kilometers to about 1,500 kilometers a month. So it's helping me a lot in savings. In fact, for the charging also, I don't have to pay because I'm charging it with the solar plant that I have. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Mohit. He's asking, Ranjit ji, what do you think will be the launch date of the Moto H50 Ultra in India? As per leaks of the phone, should I wait or go ahead with the OnePlus 12? Mohit, I did ask the Motorola India officials when I was having the briefing of the Moto H50 Pro, what about the higher end series or whatever? Last year you guys skipped it. Are you going to launch it? So they just hinted me, yes, this year you should be seeing that. But apart from that, they didn't give me any information when it's going to launch, what price points or whatever. So yes, only hint they gave me, yes, they are serious about it and they will be launching it in India. But when? I have no idea. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Vansh Sharma. He's again asking an EV related question. I have a Nexon EV Max ZX Plus Lex. That's the same variant actually I have. He says he wants to upgrade to the old 7-inch info display. Is it possible to get the new 10.251 installed, or should I go for the third party one? Would it cause warranty issues? Your recommendation will be really grateful for your help. Yes, I also hate that 7-inch, infotainment center that we have on the Nexon EV Max. It's just too small, I would say, and also the touch response is slightly bad. But sadly, you cannot swap it with the new one, that is the 10.25 inch. The authorized service centers will also not do it, and I strongly suggest not to do it, because your warranty will be just completely void if you make any electrical changes on these electric cars. Tata is dead serious about that. So if I were you, I will not do that, because I don't want to play with the warranty. We are getting a warranty of 8+ years. So I just don't want to play with the warranty just to change my infotainment screen. I'll be very blunt about it. Anyways, this is by Aman. He's asking, when can we expect a review of your Omada setup? Omada setup is the corporate Wi-Fi setup that I actually have. I will try to put out a review of that one, but I thought not many people will be interested, because these are professional networks, the Ubiquiti, the Omada and all this thing. And the initial setup to get even this one, if you want even a basic setup, it will cost you at least about 45 to 50,000, because you have to buy PoE equipment, then you have to buy the Omada controller, then you have to buy those access points, at least 2 access points or something like that. So the entry to getting into the system, and again you have to have proper Cat6 wiring across all your building or whatever house. So the initial setup goes actually quite high on this one. Actually, in my Omada setup, I have 4 access points, the controller, the Omada router, PoE, 16-port PoE switch and all this thing. My setup is almost close to about 75,000. So I was not very, yes, it's rock solid. And I actually had to use these types of systems, and in fact earlier I was using Ubiquiti, because the general Wi-Fi mesh network simply don't work for my needs. I have over 55 to about 60 devices that are connected. Sometimes it goes even, I guess in some of them goes above 75 devices, and with such high devices, regular networks simply don't work. That is the reason I went for this professional network. And it might be overkill for most of the users. I would say for the most of the users these days, you can just spend 20,000 and get a Wi-Fi mesh network. Even TP-Link actually makes some good Wi-Fi mesh networks. And again, most people won't have devices, Wi-Fi devices, more than 30 odd devices, and those Wi-Fi mesh networks actually do the job. But do let me know if you guys really want that Omada network video or all those things. I can make it. I would say it's a great solution for businesses and let's say very, very large houses, multi-storied houses and stuff like that, where traditional systems falter. Anyways, this is by Siddharth. He's asking, explain why one should buy the S24 Ultra if all the AI features in the phone will be a subscription thing. There is a confusion regarding the subscription thing. That subscription thing is actually, as of now, what I know is not meant for India. So Samsung India hasn't mentioned that the AI features will go out after a year or so, something specifically for India. So I don't know if they'll continue to work or whatever. But again, don't buy that phone just for the AI features. Buy the S24 Ultra for the S24 Ultra, because many of the AI features you will actually get it elsewhere also. For example, Google Photos that had the magic editor, magic you can move and stuff, that was exclusive to Pixel. Now just yesterday Google announced that all Android phones moving from May onwards with Google Photos will get those features. So Google is indirectly pushing many of the AI features to all Android phones. So it's not like Samsung will be able to just start charging it. They also know that. So I don't think so many of the AI features will go paid, at least in India, because they need to capture the market and make people used to this, and for that it takes a lot of time. But again, buy the phone for the phone, not just for the AI features. I'll be very frank about it. Okay, moving to next one. This is by Rohan Reddy. He's asking, which is better, physical SIM or eSIM? Which one do you prefer and why? Personally speaking, I prefer a physical SIM because I test so many devices. I have to change from one device to other. My primary SIM, for example, this is what, the Pixel 8 Pro. Today, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which I had ordered, should be shipped. So I'll be moving my SIM, and it's way easier if you have a physical SIM to move from one device to another device. If the same thing I would have to have an eSIM, I would have to actually go to the Airtel service center, ask them to deactivate it on this phone and activate it on other phones. So it's not that great experience if you keep moving the SIM from one device to another. Where I prefer eSIM is that, for example, if I'm traveling to some other country, and there I just need that temporary SIM for, let's say, 1 or 2 weeks, then I'll prefer an eSIM. It's way easier. I don't care. After that 2 weeks, that whatever my plan expires, I don't have to worry. So while traveling, if I'm buying those SIMs, I prefer eSIM. But for my primary, I still prefer a physical SIM. It's just way more easier, I would say, hassle-free solution as of now. Okay, moving to the next one. This is by Sandeep. Are Samsung cameras better than its Chinese counterparts, especially in the budget and premium mid-range? I can't say about budget and premium mid-range, but definitely I would say on the higher end, the Vivo X100 Pro and even the Xiaomi 14 series camera's performance, I feel, beats the camera performance of the Samsung S24 series. Samsung really needs to now push and put better optics and better hardware in the camera in the S25 series. They have just been reusing most of the camera hardware from the earlier, Samsung series. So yeah, I would say if it's just pure camera performance, yes, some of the Chinese vendors, for example, the Vivo X100 Pro and the Xiaomi 14 series, camera performance is actually gone better. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Amit. Is it worth buying the S23 base model in 2024 for around 55,000? Is it good for all? Yes, if you are able to get it for about that price point, it's still an excellent overall phone, I have to say. Okay, this is by Shashank. Are you planning to review the Remarkable 2? What's the experience without Kindle? Is the price reasonable for the usefulness? Yes, the Remarkable is a digital tablet. I would say it's a replacement to the paper and pen. It's an electronic device that acts like a notebook, and that's what it does, nothing else. It doesn't have the Kindle functionality or whatever. So it's just used for that, I would say. Of course, what you write over here can be synced to your computer and all those things. It is cloud connected and all that. But apart from that, it does not do anything else. Yes, it's a great product for a niche kind of an audience. But for majority of the people, I would say a tablet like iPad or whatever will do a lot more, I would say. But if person does not want any distractions while he's working, I appreciate it. I have been using it for the past 2 months. But again, I would say it's a niche kind of a device that maybe only just about 4 or 5% of the users can appreciate, because the entry point is actually very high. With the folio case that I feel you will need it cost almost about 54,000, because you'll have to buy the pen is also separate. So the whole bundle, the basic, I would say, that you need will cost about 54,000. So it's a good tool, but again, pretty expensive. And many will say that an iPad or a Samsung tablet or whatever will offer almost the same experience and a lot more for a lesser price, and I agree. This is by Yash. Hi Ranjit, I feel Samsung Bespoke AI event was more of a gimmick rather than actual AI coming into picture. Hardly targeting 0.1%, because actual people who can afford it won't care about their electricity bill is reduced by 100 or 1000 rupees. Yes, there are two ways to look about this one. Yes, it's a very new technology. So anytime a new technology comes, it's going to be very expensive. That was the case with any technology. So they have just started this. So eventually, I would say after about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years, you might have almost even mid-range home appliances that will have this AI feature. So technology always works like that. But I would say your assumption of it is targeting people who actually can afford it and they don't care about reducing the bill by 100 or 1000 rupees, you are really wrong. For example, I'm a premium user, I would say, but I'm so conscious about my electricity usage that I have solar plants and everything. And whenever I'm getting any new device or whatever, trust me, I discard some devices if I look at the power consumption of those devices, because I'm trying to be eco-conscious. And I know many people on the higher end, at least in our society, I think so, about 50% of the houses have solar power, and they are actually very conscious about how much electricity they are using. It's not about saving that 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees or whatever. That is not my brain. It is about using as much of less resources that we can do. And I think so in that area, yes, these AI devices will actually help us. Yes, you are right. Right now, those devices that we saw on the AI bespoke event, those functionalities only on their higher end equipment. But eventually, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years or whatever, these will trickle down to their mid-range devices. That's how technology works. And it's a good thing because with those tools, if you are able to use less water, less electricity, it's great for the environment. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Gary. Have you used any Sonos speakers? If so, what do you think? Yes, I have used Sonos speakers. I have a couple of Sonos speakers, but I would say Sonos speakers work great if you're on the Mac ecosystem and specifically if you're using an iPhone. Because what I've noticed is that with Android phones, the functionality is actually pretty limited, and also the app is sort of half-baked for Android devices, and specifically again, of course, if you're using Windows laptops. But yeah, if you're in the Mac ecosystem, you have iPhones and all those things, it's a great two speakers, I would say. The audio quality is something that I love with the Sonos speaker. This is by Kaushik. Price of everything is increasing, but if we compare broadband plans from past decade to present time, price has decreased and speeds have increased. Those who work in those companies, surely their expense has increased as well. What do you think? Will ISP survive? Kaushik, let me give you an idea. The broadband thing works very differently. The amount of bandwidth that is available right now is a lot cheaper than what it was. For example, and let's say ISP is buying a bundle of, what do you say, bandwidth, let's say 10 gigabit of bandwidth or whatever. And right now he might be having just, let's say, about 150 users that are using that capacity. And but that plan, whatever that backbone plan, whatever he has taken, can easily accommodate, let's say, 2000 users. So adding new users to him does not increase his cost, but again, it increases his monthly revenue. That is very important. And the biggest cost in a broadband is the recurring cost is nothing. Once you have fixed it and put the line, there's no recurring cost of it. Only thing is sometimes the cable gets broken, they have to fix it and all those things. But recurring cost is not that much. The biggest cost with the broadband is the initial setup that they have to do for a new house or something. That is the biggest investment. So if he's able to, let's say, accommodate from, let's say, 100 users to 900 users more, his bandwidth capacity won't increase that much. The only cost is the initial installation cost, and that's the reason this Jio is now pushing that Jio Air Fiber, and also Airtel will be also coming with Airtel Air Fiber, because with these they have to just put an antenna. It's a wireless connection. It's a lot cheaper than putting a direct fiber connection. Putting up a direct fiber connection is a lot more expensive. So that's how the broadband market actually works. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Tanmay. What are the best storage device brands for laptop? What to purchase, SSD or hard drive? I would say go just with the portable SSD. For example, this is the SSD that I have been using for the past 3 years. It's been working very well, I would say. For regular usage, I would say go with SSD. It's very fast. But again, if you need something just for archiving, just storing it and keeping it for a long time, then, and you don't need to access it again and again, then you can dump that on a hard drive also that you have stored separately. That works out to be a lot more cheaper, because still I would say you can easily get 10 terabyte of hard drive, but just about 2 terabyte of SSD or something like that. So that's how it is. But I've been using these SSD. This is almost 3+ years old. Still works like a champ. No performance degradation, anything. I just tuck it in the, what do you say, laptop bag or anything. As it's solid state, you don't have to worry about it. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is the last question, and this is an interesting question. This is by Captain Jack Sparrow. He's asking, are robot vacuum cleaners any good? Can they actually replace maid for mopping and brooming? I have actually a couple of Robo vacuum cleaners, and I would say for that brooming stuff, yes, it's pretty effective. In fact, for brooming, it is more effective than our maid. Sometimes after our household maid does her work, my actually wife switches on these vacuum cleaners and still it picks out a couple of dust, I would say. But mopping, I found that the mopping quality is simply not that great with these vacuum cleaners. I had tested one Realme, I had one Xiaomi one also. Cleaning, great, I would say, but mopping, I would say it's sort of gimmicky that I have noticed as of now. I haven't tried the very high-end ones from iRobot or those ones that cost 60,000-70,000, but the Xiaomi's and the Realme's and all those things, those I have tried and I've tried some in the 20k range. Mopping, I would say mopping was not that great. Anyways, guys, that's it for now for this tech Q&A session. And guys, if you're still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Geekyranjit. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Take care. Catch you later. Bye bye.